What's up, Sky Squad? We are back in the building, okay? Let me tell y'all something right now. It's a lot going on in these Bravo streets, let me tell you. And these Real Housewives of Potomac have got the internet streets lit. If you are watching in the chatterization, let me know where you guys are watching from, okay? Let me know where you guys are watching from in that good chatterization. You know what I'm saying? We back with another one. And in this video, we're going to be covering something that I actually got wind of last night. The text messages, well, the tweets, excuse me, from CANDIACE Dillard. We'll get into that and sort of why I didn't get into it last night. Number one, it was late. And so, you know, at a certain point in time, I'd be in the bed, okay? I'd be in the bed trying to get my read a book on, okay? And then we're going to be talking about ROBYN Dixon. She is denying any of her involvement in the plot to take down Monique Samuels, okay? So we're going to get into all of those things. We're going to talk about the tweets that Candiace, you know, had issued out some years ago. We'll determine whether or not how problematic they actually are, in conjunction with some of her other, you know, sort of online issues. Okay, we'll call them that. Let's go ahead and stage dive into what we got to talk about. Let's not even waste no more time. Our good friends over at the Tea of Potomac, okay, happened to get that comment, okay, from that good ROBYN Dixon, all right? So a fan said, please remember that this has already happened, most likely referring to, you know, either Monique's live or to Candiace's live where all of this sort of originated, okay? We're going to refer back to Candiace's live because there's some interesting things that have happened there. Well, I guess I'll go ahead and tell you. That live is no longer available on Candiace's page, okay? We're going to get into why I think that might be later, but in terms of what's happening here, the fan says, or the subscriber says this: please remember this has already happened. It's just airing for us to see now. They did make up at the reunion. All of them, except Karen, owes her an apology, most likely speaking about Monique. They say you should never purposely try to destroy a family. Never. We all get that. And then they tag Giselle Bryant, ROBYN Dixon, and CANDIACE Dillard. And they say all should be ashamed of themselves. This is not fun shade. This is downright hurtful. So ROBYN Dixon comes back in and says, I'm not ashamed of anything because folks are straight lying on me. So she says that the streets, i.e. Candiace, is straight lying on her. Now, let me ask you guys a question in this good chatterization right here. Do you believe ROBYN Dixon when she says that these people, i.e. Candiace Dillard Bassett, is lying on her? Let me know in the good chatterization if you believe ROBYN Dixon. Just say I believe her, or no, I don't. Give me your good line in the chatterization. And this is probably just to ROBYN's detriment that she has sort of had such a close association with Giselle, so much so that a lot of fans tend to think that she doesn't operate on her own. And ROBYN is beautiful in her own right. She, you know, has her own family, has her own take on things. So people have often wondered why she is seemingly been relegated to Giselle's shadow, okay? Because quiet as it's kept, I think that without makeup, ROBYN Dixon is probably one of the most beautiful housewives, you know, in the franchises. So do we believe that ROBYN do we believe ROBYN? And it looks like a lot of you guys say no. Now, I think this is why most people would assume that ROBYN Dixon was going along with it is because of her close association with Giselle. And also, too, because Candace is the one who said that ROBYN was a part of the conversation, okay? And if ROBYN was there, we most likely know that Giselle would have been there as well, okay? So there's that, all right? So the next order of business, and listen, this is my thing. When a person makes a statement, I just roll with the statement. That's pretty much it. That's what we're gonna roll with it and keep it moving, okay? Now, the next thing that we got to talk about is CANDIACE Dillard Bassett. And let me preface this with sort of what happened last night. One of the Skye Squad members, won't call the name, okay, basically sent me the tweets that were already making the rounds last night, right? So the tweets that Candace had done, they were from about 2010, 2011. And I thought to myself, well, number one, it's late. Ain't much I can do about it right now. But then two, you know, I had to really think about it because these were from 2011 and 2010, right? So I'm often torn about things that occur 10 years ago because I know a lot of us don't even know what we said 10 years ago, right? That's the truth of the matter, right? A lot of us don't even remember it. I mean, I'm just going to be very honest. And sometimes I don't necessarily always agree that we should be held to things that we say 10 years ago and in our youth, because a lot of times in our youth, we don't make the best decisions, right? But I think this just goes to show a very good lesson, right? Dorinda says this from Real Housewives of New York. Say it, regret it. No, say it, forget it. Write it, regret it. Okay? So there's that aspect of it. And it holds true. Something you say out loud, yeah, oh my God, we can be so done with things that we say, right? But then when you write it, it's there for posterity unless you go back and delete it. And I'm going to get to the tweets in 1 second. I just want to preface it with this and why I was conflicted about it, right? So with that being said, I have to also look at that notion as well. These are things that she wrote down publicly, right? And while I don't necessarily, I guess you guys will tell me what you guys think about the tweets, okay? Because there are a lot of people who find offense to what she is saying. And I find quite a bit of it offensive as well. And so I'm wondering, do I hold her accountable for youth or do I hold her accountable for malicious intent? And I want you guys to think about that as you guys look at these tweets, okay? Somebody said, did Monique find her bird? Yes, she did. The bird has been found. The bird flew back. Okay. Let me make sure these are on the screen. All right. So in one instance, she says, you know, Queenie, gay men irk me. Someone else says, if you want to be or are gay, then do you. But what's up with dudes wanting to be women? She says, agreed. Someone else says, I'm personally turned off by men who are too into fashion. It's a fine line when you're doing too much. Oh, she says this to a person. She's responding to a person. When you do too much, I'm disgusted. It makes me think, quote unquote, gay. Then she says, I think my office mate might be a little gay. He does some strange things, makes me raise an eyebrow here and there. Okay. Then she says, Phaedra's husband from Real Housewives of Atlanta, Apollo, is so awkward. I think he might be a little gay too. Real Housewives of ATL. So I think this guy's from Summer House, if I'm not mistaken, says, please let me know what you plan to do at Bravo TV. You love to put that rainbow flag up, so please stand up for us. Hashtag Real Housewives of Potomac. And this was taken from the provocative Instagram page, okay? So I want to know what you guys think about this. Let me know down in the comment section below, because Candace has made a statement. Someone says, why am I doing this? I didn't do this. I'm not trying to bring out her dirt. That's why I gave y'all that long preface in the beginning to let you know what had happened, right? So Candace has posted her apology. She says, I want to address tweets that resurfaced from nearly 10 years ago that may have offended people I love dearly and those who have supported me as a Potomac housewife. To my loyal fan base, particularly the LGBTQIA plus viewers, thank you for your unwavering support. I love you. I alone am responsible for my words, and I deeply regret anything that could have hurt my friends, colleagues, family, and fans. At the time, I was a private citizen speaking carelessly and crassly, as we often do, and for my lack of better judgment, I am sorry. While I've always considered myself an ally of the LGBTQIA plus community, I recognize my words were insensitive and undermined the support, reverence, and love I have consistently tried to demonstrate through advocacy for the LGBTQIA plus rights and causes, as well as my personal relationships with those who identify as LGBTQIA plus. While I've learned and matured over the past decade, I am still evolving. The language I used carelessly wasn't acceptable back then, and it isn't acceptable now. I acknowledge that my words were hurtful, and for that I am deeply sorry. In recent years, I have remained committed to the fight for equality for all. While I've personally experienced the pain of disenfranchisement as a Black woman, I will never know firsthand the hurt many LGBTQIA plus people experience from pervasive discrimination, family rejection, barriers to employment, homelessness, homophobia, and transphobia, and more. This has been a humbling experience, but I remain committed to learning and listening to become a more effective and empathetic ally. My prayer is that this may serve as a teachable moment for those who are willing to listen and learn, as it has been for me. It's imperative that we love more, have empathy, and search for understanding. I am truly sorry for my comments, and I only ask for patience and understanding as I strive to evolve as a person. And the caption reads, I want to address tweets that resurfaced from nearly 10 years ago that may have offended people I love dearly and those who have supported me as a Potomac housewife. Now, I had to personally, for me, I'm just going to go ahead and let you guys know. I had to give you guys that preface beforehand because I firmly believe that without saying a lot of that in advance, I wouldn't be handling this with the level of sensitivity that I really want to handle it with. Now, while I do believe that her statements are problematic and really discouraging and quite hurtful and insensitive, I do appreciate the fact that she apologized. And I felt like a public apology needed to be made, right? But I also feel like sometimes I don't even know how somebody goes back that far into the tweets and finds out things. I can't even scroll back far enough into somebody else's tweets to find out what happened yesterday, okay? So that takes a lot of work and diligence, right? And part of the reason why I didn't go with the story initially, again, was because it was just too much going on already, okay? It was just too much going on, and I just felt like this was like, I knew it was about to spiral, but I didn't know how bad it was going to get. What I will say is this. Candace, while I appreciate this apology and I feel like it was what was needed, I feel like Candace, and I've said this before, and I don't know if she finds it offensive when I'm saying it, but you know, when you become a public figure, there are just certain things that you cannot say. And I'm not even referring to what she said in this instance. I'm just referring to, you know, some of the ways and things that she said in her live. Now, that live that she did where she talked about Monique, where she gave us the details of the plot, again, that live has been deleted. But she said a lot of things that really ticked off a lot of people, okay? A lot of different people, from people in the cast. She talked about, you know, a specific blogger, wishing that that person's life would end. And those types of things, I feel like also deserve an apology, because those types of things are the things that are occurring now. Okay. The stuff that happened like 10 years ago, that's why I had to give y'all that statement beforehand. That's problematic. She apologized for it. I'm moving on from it. I'm still gagging at the fact that she is still making problematic statements. Like the wishing that someone would not live any longer is not something that someone at her status should be doing. Okay. And so I feel like it is the things that she said back then in tandem with the things that she is saying now, which is making this all a really bad scenario for her, right? Because ultimately, I don't want to see anybody taken down. I don't want to see anybody dragged through the mud again for things that they say in their youth, right? But what I can really hold you accountable for is the things that you are saying right now, okay? And I just feel like, again, when we get to a certain point, when we get to a certain level and we're making certain moves, especially in the public eye, you can't respond to people just any kind of way. You can't tweet at people, call them roaches and whatnot. You can't do that. You just can't. And I'm gonna tell y'all the truth. When I think about how you should react to things in life in general, I always think, and I know this is gonna sound crazy, what would Beyonce do? Tell me if I'm wrong, okay? Because I am sure Beyonce over the course of, and this is just, you could use a lot of other people for this analogy, but the what would Beyonce do thing just resonates with me because I heard it somewhere and I was like, oh, they hit the nail on the head right there. What would Beyonce do? Would she, listen, Misty, I'm not saying Beyonce is the staple. This is an analogy. Like, let's don't get so distracted by your dislike of Beyonce or Ashanti or whomever that you miss my point. My point is this. Beyonce or any major star does not react to everything that someone says about them. You're not going to get a reaction out of her. And that's what I'm talking about. At a certain point in time, because you have reached a certain level, or even in your own life, like even in our own lives, right? As we continue to move, we can't be so bothered by the things that people say about us that we start to act out and say reckless things, right? And I feel like that's the issue that she has a lot of the time, is that she says reckless things that tarnishes her character and the things that she has accomplished before this show. So you can't, it's like a beauty pageant with a contestant or a winner with a reckless mouth. It don't match. It does not match. Okay. So to me, I just feel like as we maneuver along, especially in this day and age, we got to be really careful about the things that we say to people and about people, especially in public forums. And that's really what I want to, I want for her to learn from this, is you have got to, in a sense, sort of watch your mouth. Like, you know, you should be reveling in your marriage, in the fact that the show is back on, and yes, things happen, but you can't be out here. And let me say something else. something else that I thought like Monique said in her live last night, she thanked each of the media outlets that talk about her and the show, because she says they extend. Listen, my thing is, we who are online and we who work for media organizations, blogs, outlets, whatever you want to call anybody that you're watching or you're getting your news from, we extend the conversation about the shows with people who, with viewers. We do that, right? And we develop these communities like the one we have here. And that keeps the momentum of the show going when the show is either off of the air or in between episodes, and it continues to make for a better watch, right? So, but you can't start going off on the outlets because you don't like what they say or print about you. That's my issue with her at this point, okay? And that's what I want her to learn and take from this as a learning experience. Grace, I already said, I personally, this is my stance on most things in life. Once you apologize to me, I move on. And the reason for that is that I gotta sleep at night. And so I always live by this whole situation that people are gonna mess up. It's how you bounce back from it and what you do moving forward that lets me know whether you're genuine or not. But me accepting the apology has less to do with the person. It has more to do with me, okay? Me accepting an apology allows me to move on from a situation that I may have been hurt from. So as soon as I get that apology, or even sometimes knowing I won't get an apology, I'm okay with it. You know what I'm saying? But I do feel like she did the thing that she needed to do public relations wise, and she got that statement out there. We'll just have to watch and see, you know, her actions as she moves forward. But the problem now is going to be, what will the network say or do about it? Because there are a lot of people out there who, for them, again, it is problematic thing after problematic thing after problematic thing with her, right? And that's not to say she's not a good person. That is to say, I mean, and I'm just saying this as a person who's watching the show, interviewing people or talking about the show, you know, but it is to say that the things that she says do come across reckless, and they are damaging her brand more than they are damaging the people that she is talking about. Okay? The way you talk about other people says more about you than it does about them. Like, always remember that. You know, and I think when we see a lot of these things happen, we could take a lot of these lessons back to ourselves. You know what I'm saying? This is true. You just learn not to be so reactive. You just learn, okay, I saw a really good comment that I wanted to address. Marcus says, this is exactly why I would never want fame. Nobody's going to censor my thoughts or opinions. I'm entitled to have them. Last I checked. You are absolutely entitled to have your opinion. But Marcus, I do feel like as you continue to grow and become more well-known in your hustle, in your job, in your career, you start to learn that what you say matters, and how people perceive what you say matters. And it could potentially matter so much that if you don't watch what you say or how you say it, you could offend the very audience that's built helping you build your brand, right? So you got to be careful about how you move. Now, what you said 10 years ago, I'm not going to hold you to that at this point. I just got to start here. And the reason why I feel like this is we got to start moving forward too. We got to start moving forward, and we got to start getting more progressive. But there is some problematic behavior and behaviors that I do feel like she needs to address. And I think that my hope is that the people around her begin to coach her, take her off of social media for a while, give her some media training, because she definitely needs that. And coming from the pageant world and working in the government, or working with the Obama administration, it shocks me to see and hear some of the things that she says. I always look at people and I think you're too beautiful. I mean, not always look at people, but I look at her and I think you're too beautiful of a woman to be speaking to people in this manner, right? And so you're on a platform, you're on a Bravo TV show, you're on one of the most watched networks in the country. What does that mean, y'all? That means that advertisers, sponsors are constantly pouring money into the show. And when you start affecting or offending large masses of that sponsor's audience, then that reflects bad on the network. So then the network has to make a response as well. And we saw what happened with Stassi, with Kristen from Vanderpump Rules, with the dude from was it Summer House or Below Deck? I think it was one of those dudes that had made some tweets or something like that. They're not playing at this point. So this could be your job. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not just looking at the tweets from back then. We're talking about the tweets from back then and things that were said as recently as Sunday. Okay. And so what we have to look at is, wow, like that's going to be hard to bounce back from. And let me tell you something. If you are dismissed from a television show and you're not a Nene, you're not a Lisa Vanderpump, you're not a Kim Zolciak, it's going to be very, very hard. And there's a pandemic going on. It's going to be very, very hard for you to find that type of coin and clout again, because then that would also probably bar you from being able to work with other networks. So this is why it's concerning to me. It was concerning to me last year, you know, when certain things were being put out there. And I want better for her. I want more for her. Okay. That's what this is about. So she's got to learn how to move different at this stage in her career. And again, I ain't trying to come down on her, but what I am saying, I'm trying to have a real conversation about how we all maneuver and move forward with regards to the things that we say, how we speak to people, what we put out there online. What are we doing? You know what I'm saying? That doesn't mean that you don't have free speech. It just means that you craft your messages and you say things in such a way that you get your point across without looking or damaging yourself or your brand. Thank you, Marlo Vines, for that. Elle made a very good point. I would be open to having a conversation with her, but I don't think that she, at this point in time, would be open to having a conversation with me, from my understanding. I could see that. I could see that going down. Yeah, I mean, I don't know who, if she has a PR person working for her. What I do know is that video from Sunday, that 3-hour live, has been taken down. And I had a feeling it would be taken down because the things that she said in that live were so inflammatory towards so many different people that for her to have left it up there would have done more damage to her at this point. So hopefully she uses this as a growing moment, so that that's what I thought too. You know, just coming from the pageant world, you know, working with the Obama administration, I just, in my mind, I was like, oh, this type of behavior is beneath her. It's quite honest with you. The things that she's saying about people, again, you can't wish that someone else would cease to exist on a live. And why are you thinking that in any way? Especially given the time period that we're in right now, why are you saying those things? And so someone definitely does need to reach out to her, work with her, and give her some type of guidance in terms of how to maneuver through this reality television landscape and how to maneuver as a public figure. So this is going to be an interesting battle for her as she moves forward. And someone asked if I thought she gets drunk when she says these things. No, she seemed rather lucid when she was in her live. I mean, she didn't seem, you know, she didn't seem like she was overserved or intoxicated. So yeah, we'll have to see how this whole situation continues to play out. I did note earlier today that things were going to continue to unfold as the episodes continue to get released. So we'll see how things plan out with regard to the alleged plot to take Monique down. And we'll also be watching to see what happens with Candiace as she moves forward, because there are a lot of people who are very angry about the things that she said then. And there are equally as many people who are angry about the things that she is saying now. Pierre Franklin says, do you worry about how the Housewives react to what you say? Actually, no. Okay, so let me give you my thought process on this, because I do tend to run into some of them. I do have relationships with some of them. Most of them get it. Most of them are kind of like, oh, you read me, because I don't go in. Y'all know I don't go in. I'm not commenting on how they look or nothing like that. Or and if I might, if they wear something crazy or they do something real funny with their hair, we all might laugh about it. But I ain't disparaging them or nothing like that. So when I do run into them, for the most part, you know, most of them are really, really cool. You know what I'm saying? We'll laugh about stuff. They might even, you know, we'll talk about all kinds of other things. So I would think most people get it. I think if you watch me long enough, hopefully my character speaks for me, and you can kind of see how I'm trying to move out here. So, you know, I don't really worry about it, because I know that when I do this, when I get off of it, hopefully we all leave the live feeling better. And we just talk about things in a realistic way. We apply them to our own lives, and we can take a closer look at through the lens of, you know, how reality television works and all that sort of stuff. So no, I don't worry about it. Yeah, there was some things that happened with them. Riley and Monique did do a video together. For those of you guys who know Riley, that's one of my best friends and also one of Monique's best friends. My relationship with Monique, someone asked, I'm really cool with Monique. Meeting Monique, I felt like, are you like my little sister or something like that? Like that's kind of how it felt, because we both like can talk like a mile a minute. You know what I'm saying? Like if we like get animated and stuff like that. But if I have to, you know, if I have to be honest about something that I felt like she did, I'm gonna be honest about it. That's just it. But I think when people know that I'm not coming from a malicious place, it makes it easier for them to understand me and get along, and for us to get along. Like, I honestly, Candiace was the first housewife that I ever interviewed from Real Housewives of Potomac. So for me, I always had a special place in my heart for her. But then that was her first season on here. But now season after season, it's just been like, oh, we gotta talk about this, Candiace. We gotta talk about it. Let's see. Who else? Let me see if I had any more questions. Somebody said, don't do Storm. Are you talking about Storm Monroe? That's my boy right there. Somebody said maybe I could do PR for Kandi. She really does need a professional PR team that can discipline her or teach her ways to be a little bit more disciplined about how she speaks and reacts to things. And I think once that occurs, she grows some more. I feel like she'll definitely, it would be a better her. The problem is, will she be around long enough for us to see that growth? Because, again, the powers that be at these networks, they're not going to tolerate, this type of behavior happening right now. Okay. Do I think that Charisse will come back full time? I doubt it after all this. It's funny that you mentioned this. This has been really bothering me. I don't know if you guys watch Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. Yeah, it's some possible beef there. I felt like the producers asked Garcelle a question about how she felt about Lisa Rinna dancing, and I felt like Garcelle gave her honest opinion, and that's what she's paid to do on that show. I felt like Lisa Rinna got triggered by that situation and didn't like it because she's already sensitive about it, and I think that's that. And I feel like now Lisa is basically going to make this a storyline for next season. That's what I think. Someone said, do I think Candiace's husband will stay with her? Yeah, I think so. I mean, I think, when you get married, it's ride or die, till death do us part. So, he should stay with her and, walk her through the storm. That's, I think, what good marriages are built on. Let's see. Let me see if I see anything else. Any other questions that you guys may have? Hey, the Bay is in the building. Let me see. Someone says I'm kind of biased when it comes, Cameron, out since you called this out. I don't think I am, but if you think I am, then that's fine. I mean, my thing is this: I'm going to call out what I see and what I don't like. When Monique had the whole, and I don't know if many people were watching me back then, but I was on AfterBuzz TV, and when Monique brought the whole Kendall and Sherman thing about it, yeah, I was like, I don't like that. When she showed Ashley the text messages, I was like, I don't like that either. But of course, there just so happens to be more things that I don't like that Candiace is doing than Monique does at the end of the day. And that's that. That's that on that. And you know what the cool thing about it is? I've said things that I didn't like that, Karen did, Monique has done. And you know what? they appreciate it. They're cool with it. Even Dr. Heavenly, all these, they're cool with it. But some people are a lot more sensitive than others when it comes to critiques of their behavior. And so it's a lot more difficult for them to take people saying certain things because they take everything as an offense when I'm not even trying to be offensive. Let me see if I had one more question that you guys had. Thank you guys for the compliments. I really appreciate y'all. Someone says, well, you sure played nice with Nene a lot. I think that people get that confused as well. I even have people say that, oh, Nene, you must be on Nene's payroll. Listen, nobody, ain't none of them paying me to say nothing about them. I just happen to like all the housewives. If I sometimes don't like another person's behavior, you might hear it more than others. That's about it. I don't know. I feel like I've said a lot. I mean, we talked a lot about a lot of things that Nene has had going on, and I've been pretty honest about what I think about him and how she sometimes walks a very dangerous, line with Bravo, with the things that she's airing out. But some people, I mean, she's fighting for what she believes in, I guess. Someone says, would I be open to making an appearance on Housewives if offered? No, I don't think I would want to do that. I don't really want to be on any reality show. I've already done it, and I feel like I'm good on it. Yeah, I do try to put a positive spin on things. That's just how I am. I think people thought that I was taking Nene's side over Kenya's. It was just mostly because there were some things that I felt like I didn't like that Kenya did, mostly with the Tanya situation, that I feel like people, people kind of misconstrued that. So, but it's fine. Even if you feel like I might be biased at times, what I love is that you guys still continue to support the channel, and we still talk, and we still get our thoughts out, and it ain't no thing. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not offended that you think that about me, because I don't think it's an offensive statement. It could just be your objective opinion. And I'm okay with that. I'm okay with it. Because that's not a bad thing. That's not a bad thing. All right. Do I know if Nene's coming back yet? I don't know, honestly. I don't. And sometimes I might, honestly, listen, sometimes, guys, I'm not perfect. And sometimes maybe I am biased. I really don't know. I'm not perfect, but I try to come on here and just give you guys an objective opinion, and that's it, But sometimes I'm not going to always be, and that's the truth of the matter. I ain't perfect. Sometimes I might be biased towards one or the other. It just depends on the situation. Depends on my mood, probably, too. But you'll never hear me going ham on anybody. That's not something I try to do. Somebody said you are at times, but it's cool. Thank you. I appreciate you. Last question I see. Do I think that Mariah will come back? I think it's not looking good for her. I did try to I tried to schedule an interview with Mariah, but we weren't able to link up. That's the hard thing about trying to schedule interviews, is trying to get on, somebody else's schedule. So, and I'm kind of like, after maybe the first 2 attempts, I'll just be like, okay, well, listen, I tried, and I'm gonna keep it moving. You know what I mean? And I don't take offense to it or nothing like that, because I know everybody's busy. All right, y'all. Listen, that's the news. Would I be here for Kiku? Absolutely. That's the news for the day. If anything else pops off, I'll probably have to bring it to y'all tomorrow, because I need to take a break, drink some tea, because my voice is going. As always, make sure you guys, hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell button, join the texting community as well. And this was fun. I like chatting with y'all about these types of issues. Destiny, thank you so much. Thank you. I appreciate you. We're gonna rock out on that note right there. Thank you so much. I love y'all. Y'all stay grounded, keep your mask on, stay safe. And as soon as some more news pops off, best believe we'll be back most likely tomorrow to bring it to you. All right. I'll catch you guys in the next video.